Hello everybody, the last time I drove this Aston Martin DB9, it was mine, it was the DadB9. However, its new owner James from JM on Cars has recently taken this to Bamford Roads for the full Bamford Roads DB9 treatment. And having driven this car for 12,000 miles over 2 years, I'm going to see what all the fuss is about and whether I'm now going to regret selling this car. Look, let's get into it. My name's Ben and welcome to Dadcars. I did my absolute best looking after this car over 2 years of ownership with the help of Phoenix over in Basingstoke. However, I must admit, when I arrived at Bamford Roads and saw the DadB9 rising in the air, ready to be inspected by Mike, I was a little bit nervous. I kind of felt a little bit like a schoolboy who was about to be judged by the headmaster. Handily, Mike gave this car a big thumbs up. He said it's a well-used, honest and well-cared-for car, which I was very, very happy with. But he did make one shock discovery. I always thought that these 2009 Glass Key 470 Sports Pack cars, I thought they came with Bilstein dampers. In fact, in my previous videos, I believe I've said that. However, we found out that Aston Martin were a little bit naughty. During that transition of going to the Glass Key cars, they still had some of the old sports pack dampers, the dynamic dampers I believe they were called, and they would put them on some of the sports pack cars in 2009. My theory is that they did that just to get them off the shelves. However, this car is now fitted with brand new Bilstein dampers, and the difference is, well, it's transformed just the ride quality in this. You know, at low speeds before, you know, any tiny pothole in the road, you really felt it in this. And I mean, it never felt like a big deal to me because I went from a Lotus Elise to this car, so you know, it still felt completely acceptable. But this is what a GT should be like. The sound of this car is also now much better, much meaner. When I first started it up, it had that real growl that you want. You know, that was a complaint of mine after driving the Gran Turismo a few times on the channel. When I'd get back in my DB9, even with the exhaust flap open, it was still, you know, really muted at low speeds. But this has now got a primary cat delete and high flow secondary cats. So it's at low revs when you really wouldn't hear it. So let's have a look. See, it makes a lovely noise, but it's still not too much. These catalyst modifications also now mean that this car cannot have the admittedly very rare but catastrophic failure where, you know, if it misfires, it can break up the cat and then ingest it into the engine. That can't happen now. So it wasn't just done for the sound. Oh, it sounds amazing. Oh, the sound is perfect now. Oh, this is what I always wanted. I just wanted it to be a little bit more, but yeah, I think this is perfect now. Getting lots more burbles as well when you lift off. But this has also had an ECU remap, which apparently can improve the fuel economy, which, I mean, that's amazing, because I always thought that this was pretty good fuel economy, you know, like over 21 on a run, around town low teens, but sort of averaging around 18 miles per gallon. I thought that's good for a 6-litre V12, but apparently it could be even better than that. Right, let's get out of town and get onto the twisties, because I want to feel this performance. Oh, it is a lot more keen now to get up and go, because I think the thing with the DB9 is it's much more of like a wafter than a throw you back in your seat kind of car. But God, yeah, look, it's a lot more keen now. God, this feels ferocious. Oh yeah, and all of this work that Bamford Roads did means this doesn't have 470 horsepower anymore. No, it has at least 500 brake horsepower. Right, let's slow down here. Let that car get ahead of me. Coming up to a national speed limit. Right, let's drop it down to first. It's very greasy and snotty out there, but look, let's have a little look. Oh! Oh, God. Are those gear shifts quicker? I can't remember because I'm driving around obviously the automated manual Grand Sport at the moment, but God, that felt so much faster, and I didn't see the traction control light up. Honestly, before, maybe it must have been because of those old dynamic dampers. Might have had something to do with that, but honestly, the traction control, even on a dry day, the light would just flash up at random times before, but I can't believe that the rear wheels didn't spin then, or at least I didn't get a light on the dash. God, this feels so much faster. God. Right, I'm going to turn off in a minute and find a road which is a little bit quieter. While we're waiting to get to a more suitable road, they also sorted out a few other little things which I would have loved to have got round to doing with the car, but I was putting all of my money and focus into all the mechanical maintenance and doing everything right on this car. I didn't realise how bad the door struts were on my doors, because they did hold up, but if you were parked on a slope they would sort of like fall back down again. But they've had replacement ones on both doors, and the feeling of quality now with fresh door struts. If your door struts are a little bit weak, I highly recommend you just fork out the money and get some, because it just feels so much more special and solid now that they're working as they should do. Also, they sorted out the annoying creak that I used to have from the rear parcel shelf. That's fantastic. And I think they've done something to the wing mirrors as well, because I had a wing mirror that used to sometimes sort of not fold out fully. So yeah, it looks like that's been fixed as well. Oh God, I miss this car. Oh, I do really miss it. Now, this road will be a lot better. Right, here we go. There's no one else around. Let's go to first gear. Oh, goodness. I did get a little flash of the traction control light there, but I'm not surprised. Oh, so much more of an animal of a car now. It really does feel like a proper brute in a suit. A lot more confidence going into a corner at speed as well, because the whole car just seems to remain planted more so than before. Also as well, like before I would never really take this to the red line. I mean, it doesn't actually have a red line, but I wouldn't rev it all the way out before because there was no real need to, because it felt like it kind of run out of puff towards the end, but that doesn't happen now. God, Bamford Rose, you are magicians. Now, I've wondered for years, what is the ultimate Aston Martin? And I love the V8 platform ones. To me, the interiors, the looks of them, yeah. But I always go back and forth between a DBS or a Vanquish 2. But driving this now, honestly, I think the sweet spot is to actually have a DB9.1 that you can buy for, like £35,000. And then you can take it to Bamford Rose, give him I don't know, I'd have to double check with James how much all this costs, but say even if you spent £10,000 at Bamford Rose, giving it the full works, that's £45,000 for a Aston that feels like this. Christ! And because it is just that DB9.1, I say just, but it doesn't have carbon fibre everywhere. I kissed the lip in this car half a dozen times during the 2 years of ownership, and as soon as I got out of the car and looked at it and I saw all it done, it just scuffed the the underside of the lip. you know, that was it. I forgot about it and it didn't ruin my day. But if you did that in a Vanquish or a DBS, you know, that would be gutting, wouldn't it? And I think, look, owning cars like this, you want it to be enjoyable. You don't want to be stressing because, oh no, I can't take the Aston there because, you know, it's hard to park and I might catch the lip. You know, this, for like £45,000, I think this is the perfect Aston. I don't think I've felt a single uncomfortable sort of bump in the road yet, which is incredible because these roads aren't perfect. Yeah, look, I'm going over some horrible little potholes here. Look. Oh. I mean, you know that they're there, but there's no disruption to your ride comfort at all. So do I have seller's remorse? Well, the fact is that I couldn't afford to keep this Aston Martin and keep doing the Dadcars YouTube channel. And plus I did really need more rear space. So, you know, I could carry my 4 children around in my dad car. So I don't have seller's remorse, but I am extremely envious of James for having this DB9, the perfect DB9. But, you know, that's the nice thing. Whenever I get sort of envious about something, it also makes me feel motivated, you know, to one day get back to being able to comfortably afford to own a very special Aston Martin like this. And to any DB9 owners out there who are thinking about maybe upgrading their DB9 to a DBS, to a Vanquish, honestly, have a little think, because you know, in the amount of money that you could lose in trading in your DB9 to a more expensive Aston, you could lose like £10,000 on like Part X-in, and you know, by the time the dealers made their markup on each deal. But for that same sort of money, you could get the full Bamford Rose works done on your DB9. Look, I've only very briefly sort of talked about all of the things that have been done to this car. What you need to do is head over to the JM On Cars YouTube channel, because when James took this to Bamford Rose and I was there, I was helping with the filming, he filmed a video with Mike where he goes through all of this stuff in detail. And if you haven't seen those videos already, you need to see them. I will put a link to those videos in the description below. And you might notice this car is very dirty, but that's because of the time of year. I'm filming this in December. The weather's been so grotty recently. Plus it's going off to Bamford Rose again to get paintwork done in the new year. And I cannot wait to see this car after it's had that paintwork done. If I had a massive YouTube channel that was bringing in sort of regular money and I had the space, I would buy this back off of James 100% in a heartbeat. I would not be able to resist. Look, ultimately, I think the way that I want to finish this video off is by saying that I feel incredibly lucky to have been somebody who was able to own an Aston Martin like this for 2 years and put all of those miles on it, use it with my family, make those precious memories with my family. I'm extremely grateful for that. It's a special thing, but I'm also very proud that my time with this car, you know, was a net positive for it. You know, my time as a custodian, you know, I looked after this car well, and to see it now, you know, I couldn't have afforded to have done what James has done here. And whoever buys this car off James next, God, honestly, I think pound for pound, you are going to have the greatest Aston Martin, pound for pound, bang for buck in the country. This is just such an exceptional car. Look, thank you all so much for watching. If you don't already subscribe to this channel, please do that now. Check out one of our other videos, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.